So I want to thank all of you for joining me for another episode of Dialogue with Dallas. And it's a warm spring night. And as many of you may know, and some of you may not know, just this past week, I buried my mother. And so fitting for this week, I wanted to just talk about a few leadership lessons that we learned from Mom. And I had an opportunity this past weekend to say a few words at my mom's homegoing service, along with my 9-year-old son, Miles. And I drew spiritual strength from this young man and what he said about his grandmother. But I was able to elaborate on 37 years with this woman and talk a little bit about some things that I want to share with you. And as I'm talking about this, I want to hear from you. What are some leadership lessons that you learned, whether it's from mom, grandma, or whomever was the woman figure in your life who they breathed life into you. They really wanted to make sure that you made it. And so for me, I talked about three things. And those three things are as follows, and very quickly. One, how your actions speak louder than your words. My mom was one person who, she didn't really say much, but her actions proved that she loved you, that she was committed, that she was dedicated, and that she was there. Regardless of what was going on, if she said she was going to do something, she did it. It instilled in me, and so my word is my bond. If I tell people I'm going to do something, I do it. Even when I stretch myself thin, if I say it, I'm going to do it. The second thing I talked about was slowing down. And I know in our society where we really believe that working 12, 14, 16-hour days, we glorify this. We think that that's admirable. It's not. My mom really talked about slowing down, not working ourselves to death, taking mental pictures of life and enjoying those moments so that when we look back, we have no regrets because we were fully in the moment with people whom truly mattered, and that we were completely there because we relished every moment in memory that life in fact had. But last but not least, my mom talked to me about, she instilled in me the importance of talking to others. And I know in our society where we want to be strong, we want to be bold, we want people to know that we got it all together, we don't really want to talk about the issues and problems that we in fact have. But in my mother's case, in many cases, we did not even know she was sick until we had to take her physically to the hospital. And that should be the case. We know in our society mental illness is real, depression is real. How do we take opportunities to connect with each other, to talk to one another about some of the things that we have going on so that we can share problems with each other, but most importantly, share solutions with each other? And so I love my mother. I'm so excited, and I'm grateful to God for the 37, almost 38 years I had with this beautiful woman, this beautiful soul, this beautiful spirit. But I want to share with my subscribers a special thank you to you for many of you who've reached out over the past week to me and my family, but to share some, and in this case, 3 lessons I learned from my mom. And I want to hear from you. What are some lessons you learned from women in your lives so we can continue this dialogue? Because as we shared in the month of March, Women's History Month is so important because women have laid the foundation for everything that our society and our world stands on today. So let me hear from you about what you've heard, what you've learned from women in your life. But Mom, I love you, and thank you all for sharing this experience with me and my family.